Hello, my name is Jungwoo Yang and I'm 22 years old. Some things about me is that I am a fourth year at the University of Georgia. My major is exercise and sports science. I love playing basketball and tennis. I've been going to KCPC ever since I moved to Georgia, which was in 2010. I am excited for this new season with New Vine. And yeah, I just hope to be a leader and a voice in our community. Okay, so in the book, 50 Reasons Why Jesus Came to Die, I am doing day 34, and it is to enable us to live by faith in Him. And the verse that goes along with it is Galatians 2:20. I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. In the life I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave Himself for me. So, there are a couple things that I highlighted. There are a couple paradoxes within this verse. The first one is from the verse, I have been crucified, but now I live. There's one, and then there's another one that says, it is no longer I who live, yet I now live. Do I live or don't I? So, these are paradoxes, but it is not necessarily contradictions. It just sounds like that. What Paul, the writer of this book, he was trying to say that there was an I who died and there is a different I who lives. And that's what it means to become a Christian. An old self dies and a new self is created or raised. And this kind of applies to me in terms of when I was baptized. I believe this is kind of what baptism is, where like you kind of declare your faith in Christ and you're kind of giving away or giving up your old life, and then you are declaring that you are following Jesus into this new life. So I believe that kind of goes along with this. So that kind of is tying into my experience. And also it states that the aim of the death of Christ was to take our old self with Him into the grave and put an end to it. So yeah, that just kind of goes along with the reference with the baptism. And also I highlighted the part where it says the purpose was the raising of a new self. And the question is, so who is this new self necessarily? And in this passage, it says there's two ways to define this new self. The first, it says that the new self is Christ living in me. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. And it says, I take this to mean that the new self is defined by Christ's presence and help at all times. So that is the first way. It's basically kind of saying like a Christ inhabited, Christ sustained, and Christ strengthened life within me. So that is the first way of identifying the new self. The other way is living a life by trusting Christ moment by moment. And that has to do with faith. So the first part kind of has to do with like the divine side of where Christ is living in us and enabling us to live through His teaching, through the word, through the law. And the second part is applying that into our lives, and then how we use that as faith and learning from that, and by trusting in Him each moment. So that's kind of like the two new sides of the new self that we are living in now. So that is proof that He will be with us and will help us do this, is the fact that He suffered and died to make it happen. So that is why Jesus came to die, so we can have this new life and faith within Him and living by faith. So that is how I interpreted this devotion, this passage.